Rob, welcome to Horsehead Bookends for another Gaming Friday. If this is your first time here, please click on that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You will get notified whenever I upload some new videos, and I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, today is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. So for today's video, I thought I would talk about 3 games that I love and why I love them. We all have our favorites. If they might mean something to you, it might be a game that was your first game into board gaming, or your first heavy game, or it's your absolute favorite mechanic. And let me know below what your favorites are and why you love them. So today I'm talking about 3 different games and why I love them. And the first game we're going to talk about is Trois from Pearl Games. Trois is a strategy game in which you represent a rich family from the Champagne region of France, using your influence to recruit and supervise individuals from the 3 prominent domains: military, religious, and civil. Now, at the heart of it, Trois is a worker placement / dice drafting game where you place your workers and you draft dice from the city square based on the 5 different areas of the board. So starting clockwise from the top, there's the cathedral, you have agriculture, there's city hall, the count's palace, and the bishopric. Now the game plays through rounds, and each round you get 1 individual action, and after the round, when all the players have used up all their dice or passed, you move on to the next round. Now you flip over a different activity card based on the round that you're in. The game is over when all of the event cards get used. Okay, so if you've seen some of my other videos, you know I'm a really big fan of dice drafting games, and Trois was probably my absolute favorite. It came out in 2010, I believe, and it went out of print pretty quickly. It was reprinted in 2012, but it was still hard to get. So it actually was one of my grail games for a while because I've been dying to play it, but some of the prices were crazy expensive. This was reprinted in 2017 along with the expansion for it, Ladies of Trois, and this also comes with certain promo cards that were hard to get as well. Now it is a 2 to 4 player game, but it does have a solo component to it, which is fun, but it's better if you play with other people. What you do is you each take a turn drafting certain workers to use for your action. However, you can actually draft dice from other people, but if you do, you have to pay them. So while you might have a plan to do a certain thing, it might not come true because the person before you might steal your dice that you need to perform that. But at the same time, you do get money, so it's kind of a toss-up. With the expansion, Ladies of Trois add a bunch of new characters that you get, because in the beginning of the game, you each get a character card that has almost like your hidden agenda that you want to try to complete for more victory points at the end of the game. And Ladies of Trois, I've used it once or twice. It's a decent expansion, but just the general vanilla game by itself is awesome. If you're a fan of dice drafting games, dice drafting worker placement style games, I highly suggest checking it out. It is excellent. It is definitely on one of my favorite games ever, and it's a game I definitely love. Alright, so moving on to game number 2 that I absolutely love, and I'll explain why, is Xia: Legends of a Drift System by Far Off Games. Xia is a 3 to 5 player sandbox style competitive space adventure. Each player starts as a lowly captain of a small starship. Players fly their ships around the system, completing a variety of missions, exploring new sectors, and battling other ships. Captains vie with each other for titles, riches, and most importantly, fame. The most adaptive, risk-taking, and creative players will excel. One captain will rise above the others, surpassing mortality by becoming legend. Now, when Xia first came out, I did not get it. I I passed it by. I thought nothing of it. Actually, I gave it no thought at all. But I saw some people talking about it, and a friend of mine was telling me about it, how good it was, and my first response was, meh. I don't like sandbox style games. I like to have a game with a specific purpose. However, I kept seeing more people talk about it, and as I looked into it more and more, I found that this is a game that I would really enjoy. So I had the opportunity to pick up, I believe, the second printing along with all the expansions for it, and I absolutely love it. In Zia, you fly around. It's a sandbox style game, meaning you don't have a direct objective. You get these mission cards, you can complete them, you can't complete them, you don't need to. But you try to battle to get enough fame to win the game, and you can actually set how much fame you need for each game. So the games can be as long or as short as you want. You can add in wormholes and warps and everything, and the game can get massive. The components are absolutely gorgeous. The little ships, the metal tokens. It's such a fun game. It does say 3 to 5 player. I believe there is a solo mode. No, maybe not. I think you need at least 2 players to play, but once you kind of give someone some very minimal instruction on how to play and how to build a ship and everything, the game really takes off. It's pretty easy to teach. I actually played it with Johnny, and he loves it. And what he does is, because it's a sandbox game, you can do whatever you want. I try to complete missions when he goes around and just tries to discover new planets and attack other players. And he does pretty well at it. But it's super fun game. If you're looking for a space-themed type of game where you explore or fight or mine for minerals, definitely check it out. It is so much fun, and I am so happy I have this one in my collection. Okay, we're down to the #1 game that I'm going to talk about today, and it's a game I absolutely love. It's probably one of my top 3 games of all time, and that is Anachrony by Mind Clash Games. This game is absolutely terrific. The world has changed. It is the 26th century, and New Earth is slowly recovering from the Day of Purgation. A day of mysterious catastrophic explosion shook the entire planet. The majority of the population was exterminated, and most of the surface became uninhabitable. No one understood what really caused the apocalypse. The only thing the survivors could do was find shelter until the dust settled. In Anachrony, you are the leader of one of New Earth's ideological paths: harmony, dominance, progress, and salvation. Your ultimate goal is to prepare for an upcoming asteroid impact, secure the future of your people, and overcome the other 3 paths as a dominant ideology in shaping humanity's future. The game is played through up to 7 rounds called eras, each symbolizing several years. After the 4th era, the asteroid impact occurs, changing how the remaining eras play out and triggering the countdown to game end. Anachrony is centered around 3 game concepts: powering up and using exosuits, taking actions with workers, and using time travel. I put the box down because the box is pretty big. I'm just gonna hold up the rule book because it's a lot smaller. Anachrony is a worker placement type of game. As I said earlier, you are one of 4 ideologies trying to prepare yourself for the asteroid impact and then trying to shape the world after the impact happens. You can't stop the impact, it's going to happen. But the interesting mechanic about Anachrony is that wormholes have opened up in time, and you can give your future self things, or your future self can give you things. But you might create a paradox, which completely will mess up your strategy if you're not paying attention. So it's this worker placement game that you have to not only play in the present, but you have to prepare for the future, and it's not just planning your moves. You need to figure out what you're going to do. Like if your future self gave your present self something, but you needed it in the future, you're kind of screwed. The components are great. The gameplay is terrific. There's a solo mode that you play against a bot, which is amazing, and it's really tough. It's a great challenge. It's a great solo mode if you're into solo gaming. So the only thing I can not really complain, but Mind Clash games are known for heavy games. So if you're not really into a heavy type of game, I probably would not recommend this to you. I would go with a different type of worker placement games. There's so many. But if you do like heavy games and you want a worker placement game that has a new mechanic that you really don't see that often, definitely check out Anachrony. It's amazing. I love it, and like I said, it's one of my top 3 games of all time. Okay, so you've seen 2 of the games. Zia and Anachrony have inserts in them. They're from Meeple Reality. They're a great insert company. If I'm not printing out an insert myself, I bought them from them. Hashtag not sponsored. But they make some great inserts, and like I said, if I'm not printing out the insert myself, I would definitely buy from them. I think they're great. I'm going to do one honorable mention just because I think the game does need to get talked about. I'm not going to show it, but I did a review on it a long time ago, and it's an early video, and it's pretty bad. But I'll put that link right up in the corner, and that would be Too Many Bones by Chip Theory Games. Too Many Bones is a dice drafting RPG style game where you play gear locks and you navigate through the story taking on whoever the main baddie is that you're going up against. It's really innovative, especially for the design of the pieces, the dice, the neoprene mats, the chips. It is, the components are absolutely excellent. I absolutely love the game too, but the reason it's an honorable mention is because of the buy-in to start playing Too Many Bones. It's expensive, and it's because of the components. But if you do decide to take the plunge and get it, you can see exactly where your money went. It's so worth it. The dice are great, the mats are great, the chips are great. They do have an expansion called Undertow, which is at a lower price point, and I think you get 2 gear locks in that, and it's a smaller adventure. So if you want to kind of just dip your toe in the water to the Too Many Bones series, I would definitely recommend that. But again, it's a terrific game if you're looking for that epic RPG type of game that has a great dice drafting mechanic where you're represented by chips on a mat and you move them into position to do battle. So that's another fun one. So there you have it. Those are 3 games I love and why I love them for Valentine's Day. I want to hear what you have to say about it. Do you share your love for these 3 games? Do you hate these 3 games? I know people who absolutely hate Zia just because of the randomness of the die rolls, and I totally understand that. It gets frustrating, especially when you're rolling really poorly. So I can see why there's some dislike for that one. But anyway, those are 3 games I really love. So if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, again, please don't forget to click on subscribe and click that notification bell. You'll get notified whenever I upload some new videos. Questions or comments, please post them below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, talk to you later.